Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call, please.
Trustee Bellinger?
Here.
Trustee Bankowski? Here. Trustee Colley?
Here.
Trustee Myson?
Here.
Trustee Foley?
Here.
President Pridemore?
Here.
Peter Stein?
Here.
Whitson is here, and Trustee Guerrero is absent.
Public comments on the agenda.
Good evening, Council. Just wanted to mention, introduce myself, Patrick McKay, attorney for Ravender McCarr, who two of his parcels are up for rezoning tonight, which is parcel 260627300021 and 260634153002. I sent in a lengthy objection letter. And if you're going to address this evening as agenda item number 9D, unfinished business planning commission rezone recommendation, I would reserve my comments to that if you'd like me to speak to that. Otherwise, if not, then that the letter I sent be made part of the record. Thank you.
Public comment on the agenda. Approval of the agenda. I have one change to the agenda. Unfinished business, the planning commission rezoning recommendation. We're going to table that this month at the request of the planning commission.
Thank you.
Any other changes or additions? Oh, also under new business, I'm afraid we have item K, JD contract for the sidewalk. Any other changes? Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
Or
Amended, yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the minutes, council meeting minutes for November 9th, 2021.
Make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes as presented.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Consent agenda.
Make a motion that we approve the consent agenda.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Payment of bills. This time.
The November payroll was $122,554.28. Bills to be paid for December total $404,099.79 for a total of $526,654.07. The village assets total $6,778,340.65.
I have a question about the payroll figure.
Okay.
Can you confirm that amount?
There were 5 payments in the water.
Okay. All right.
You have, okay.
Do I have a motion to approve the bills to be paid?
Make a motion that we approve the payment of bills in the amount of $526,654.07.
Support.
The properly moved and supported. Roll call.
Who supported that? Trustee Myson?
Yes.
Trustee Bankowski?
Yes.
Trustee Bellinger?
Yes.
Trustee Colley?
yes.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
And President Pridemore.
Yes. I have a motion on the treasurer's report.
I move that we receive and file the treasurer's report.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, communications and committee reports. Clerk?
Items for the January agenda are due by the end of December. Goodness. Obviously, it's not the end of the month yet, so lenient on that, but please get it to me as soon as possible.
Planning commission report.
The planning commission met last Tuesday, the 7th. We, as a team, approved some more zoning changes. We tabled a couple, and then we tabled it on our agenda today until we fine tune some things.
Okay. Trustee Guerrero could not make it today, and of course our thoughts and prayers are with her at the loss of her mother. I can give you a very quick Parks and Rec report. We had an incredible turnout for our community dinner drive-through. 150 dinners went through, so thank you to our partners at Waste Management, DB Coffee, Pulse, Medical Center at Beaumont. Of course, Grosso Trucking supplied 150 Butterball turkeys. So we appreciate our partners in providing that dinner for our residents and to our group homes. And our tree lighting went very well. I had the privilege of having the tree lit up along with Supervisor Anthony Reeder of Lennox Township. We did the countdown, and we had a very nice turnout. And our first ever Springle Cookie Contest had a winner with her granddaughter Phoenix, and it went over very well. We had a lot of participants, so again, it was a very nice civic event, and we're getting a lot of positive credit for being able to throw these events. New business, meeting dates 2022. It's going to be, you have a copy of the council calendar ahead of you, and it is, of course, the second Tuesday of the month. Beginning with January 11th, 2022, and ending with December 13th, 2022, and it will be posted in the cabinet by the front door.
Are you looking for a motion?
Yes.
I'll make a motion to accept the 2022 council calendar as presented.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The fire department committee meeting dates.
Are January 25th at 7:30 p.m., April 26th at 7:30 p.m., July 26th at 7:30 p.m., and where did I go?
October
October 25th.
Yeah, October 25th.
7:30 p.m. also.
Yes.
Do I have a motion?
Make a motion to approve the fire department committee meeting dates as presented.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Setting a public hearing for the 2022 CDBG Community Public Service Funding. Will that be at the January?
Can we do it at 6:30 prior?
Yeah. Rachel, what's the January meeting date?
The 11th.
Okay, so it'll be set for, I'm proposing 6:30 before the council meeting on January 11th, 2022. Do I have a motion?
Make a motion that we have a public hearing for the CDBG funds on January 11th at 6:30 p.m.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Budget amendments?
This is our third quarter budget amendments. As you know, we usually get our delinquent taxes this month, and so I go through all the current real taxes and update them with what we actually got. So that's one of the things I did with the revenue. We had a couple of things that I brought down with our equipment rental. We lost a person, so we're not getting as much equipment rental usage. And also our extra usage has gone down. I had to take the major local salaries and twist them around for actual. And what else happened? Nothing majorly happened. Does anybody see anything they want to have a question on?
Overall, the budget, put us further in the hole, or is there an increase in?
We have an increase of $86,000 to our revenue, and we have a decrease to our expenses of $9,300. So our net change is basically $95,361.45 to the good, so.
Are there any questions or concerns?
That's well laid out. Easy to read.
Do I have a motion?
Do you want a motion for acceptance, or?
You have to accept the budget amendment as presented.
I make a motion that we accept third quarter budget amendments as presented.
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Thank you.
Trustee Mason?
Yes.
Trustee Tolly?
Yes.
Trustee Capoli?
Yes.
Trustee Bellinger?
Yes.
Trustee Bankowski?
Yes.
And President Harden?
Yes. Fire Department Rescue Vehicle Assistant Chief Steer.
Good evening. In front of you, you have a rescue vehicle in which we would like to get a $10,000 deposit for us to hold the vehicle. As far as the vendor has told me that this is the only vehicle that will be available for 2021. This is a 2021 wheeled coach Ford Transit rescue truck for the total purchase of $97,007. Also in front of you, you have a breakdown if you would like to finance it over the next 3, 5, or 7 years. And we will be using, our intention is to use the ARP funds in order to purchase the vehicle.
Okay, now this is replacing apparatus that aged out.
Yes, ma'am. Currently, we run 2 medical trucks, our new Tahoe, and then we also run an engine. So we would like to downsize and run this 21 Ford Transit vehicle.
And
Isn't this replacing technically 2 vehicles at this
Technically, it
point?
would be replacing 2. Yeah, we sold the old box truck and then the other really old rescue truck.
okay, now talk to us about the state of Michigan inspection.
I'm sorry, what?
State of Michigan inspection.
State of Michigan
Well,
inspection.
just help us. You have a thing here, minimal equipment needed to purchase.
So it's basically all that means is the equipment that needed for this new vehicle, we already have on hand because we have decommissioned those other 2 vehicles. So
Oh,
the supplies that are required for that will be very minimal for us.
okay. And how long do what kind of a financing arc?
There's a 3, 5, and 7 year. There's no payment for the first year. So if we were able to approve the ARP funds, it would be, we do it half now and half next year.
Anybody have any questions or concerns?
This wouldn't be used for transporting individuals with it, or?
No,
Okay. I just don't want to have any conflicts with Richmond on this scheme.
no. This will be a rescue vehicle.
The 10,000 is coming out of the fire department balance fund,
For the deposit, yes.
the deposit.
Yeah.
And it's like there's still quite a bit in there to cover that.
Yes, sir.
Any other questions or concerns? Do we have a motion?
Do we need to approve the entire purchase amount or just the $10,000 deposit for right now?
We should probably approve the entire purchase amount because we don't have to come back and say, well, no, the fire department needs approval for the rest of the money.
Maybe just include the deposit amount in the motion.
Yeah,
With the deposit, yes.
Should we decide on financing that today?
whether it's 3.7 or 3.5 or
Oh,
7.
right.
Well, there's a lower APR, and if we're using ARP funds, then why not go for the shorter term if we intend to pay it off?
Right.
That would be our recommendation.
Yeah. I make a motion that we approve the purchase of the wheeled coach transit 250 for a purchase price of $97,007 with a $10,000 deposit due now on a 3-year term.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Bellinger?
Yes.
Trustee Meissen?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
Trustee Jankowski?
Yes.
President Pridemore?
Yes.
And Trustee Collins?
Yes.
Thank you.
That 10,000 is coming out of the fire budget.
Yeah.
Okay, resolution to support public art project. The DIA, Detroit Institute of Arts, sent an email out to several communities. They have a project where they will install a mural in a community that will enhance the building, enhance any public space. I actually put in an application for us so that we could enhance our public art area. This is at no cost to the village, but they do require a resolution of support endorsing a public art project in New Haven. Many communities apply for it, and I've seen some of the examples of what they've done on some of the buildings, and it's incredible artwork. So what I am asking is for council's approval on a resolution to support public art in New Haven. Do we have a resolution number?
2021-015.
Make a motion that we adopt resolution 2021-015, a resolution of support endorsing the public art project in New Haven, Michigan.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you all. If I hear anything, I will let you know if we were chosen. All right, post-construction storm water ordinance. This ordinance is mandated as part of our municipal separate storm sewer system, and it is mandated by Eagle and the Great Lakes Authority. It's a lot of technical speak, but basically we have to put, it controls storm water, I believe, runoff at a construction site. And the state is mandating it, Eagle is mandating it. Did anyone have any questions on the ordinance?
Did we pass something like this? A little
Was
bit
on the
ago,
agenda.
or am I thinking of something different?
No, it was presented, but we were supposed to get it formatted, and we did, and now we get to pass it.
I said the same thing when presented, but I can't find it on any.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just seemed familiar.
Yeah.
So do we have an ordinance number?
394.
And do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion. Let's see here. Ordinance number 394 to incorporate post-construction storm water controls.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Mr. Gilbert.
Believe I'm next.
Okay, as you all know, we renovated and corrected a lot of the problems at the DPW storage facility, and the garage door were as old as the holes in the building. So I asked Supervisor Gilbert if he would get some quotes on the door, and we'd like to talk about the quotes that we got.
Yeah, we got 3 quotes, and you should have them in front of you, and had to do a double take on the Home Depot quote, but obviously we both talked about it, President Pridemore and I, and it's $4,000, or I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but it's significantly lower than the other ones, so I'm asking for a blessing to move forward with getting a new commercial door for the cold storage building, because the current one is now inoperable.
Yeah, we got quotes from Envision, who did work at our community center and at the DPW garage, and Supervisor Dilbert went the extra mile and got additional quotes. And I went online to Home Depot and punched in some numbers, and it looked incredibly low. So I asked Supervisor Dilbert to go over to Home Depot. I said, what did I do wrong? And
Yeah, went over it a few times with the lady, and I'm just like, is this right? But, yeah,
so,
it is,
thank you for going down there, I appreciate it.
no problem.
So
This
you-
is, sorry.
Go ahead.
This is for installation, I think, included for the
This
first
is
time.
everything, yeah.
That's what's
Do they have a guarantee on the timeline for that? Because we just ordered, granted, it's residential and it's different. It took 9 months to get them.
They didn't have a
Timeline?
Yeah,
So it's just the cost.
everything is kind of,
And I know you've got 3 quotes, but did we look at M&M garage doors?
they're not doing commercial yet.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yep, that was one of the first ones they called.
They're
They're
local
local,
even.
off of
But
Roseanne.
if they're not doing commercial, then,
That's good.
yeah.
They haven't tapped into the commercial sector yet.
Yeah, I just wondered.
Yeah.
Now, the paperwork we have from Clopay, which works through Home Depot, it's showing a subtotal of $39.17, but I thought it was slightly more than that. That was it.
I think the quote that you had punched in, that's the quote without tax.
Oh,
I had to
okay,
take the
we're
tax off right
tax-free,
there, yeah.
that's right, that's right.
Yeah.
All right, so do we have a motion? Oh, do we have any questions?
So is the lower, with it being inoperable, is the lower price worth, that you might have to wait quite a while to get it?
Yes, we'll deal with it. That's totally fine.
Not an urgent need.
Any other questions or concerns?
And just if this doesn't fall through and you have to come back and we have to go with one of the other ones, just to piggyback what he's saying, that's, because you might add another month.
Yeah, and I'll come
Okay,
back
make it work.
and update you.
Okay.
Make a motion that we approve the quote for Home Depot to buy the Value Plus red steel commercial sectional door, the amount of $3,917.14.
Support.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Meissen?
Yes.
Trustee Bellinger?
Yes.
Trustee Benkowski?
Yes.
Trustee Capoli?
Yes.
Trustee Colley?
Yes.
Trustee Treasurer?
Yes. The DPW John Deere equipment.
I went out and got some quotes for I got a gator, and then I called a couple other suppliers and got comparable machines with plows, spreaders, and this machine will be to do sidewalks, the pathways, et cetera. In the summer, we can use it to water flowers, carry items, to and from. It's going to be a multi-purpose vehicle. The John Deere is actually the commercial vehicle. I try to get the apples to apples comparison, but some of these other ones, they're more sport. We don't need sport. We need, commercial type stuff that's gonna last. And also, this is being pretty much local, right in Lennox Township. AIS. The price is obviously, a little heftier, but you get what you pay for in this aspect. The John Deere compared to some of these other ones. And also, in saying that, when I got the other quotes, one of them, I'm not going to mention any names obviously, but one of them, it was kind of like, oh, well, so that didn't make me feel real comfortable. But the other ones, they could get item A, but they didn't know if they could really get item B, so it's on the quote, but they didn't know if they could complete the deal, so to speak. But speaking to AIS and their representatives, they were able to put together the total product.
And we've been talking about, the gator is the term for the UTV with the accessories, right?
Yes, enclosed cab, heat for winter, plow, salt spreader, and that's everything. This quote is for everything.
They'll be able to do the sidewalks at Fountain Park, Community Park, the new green space that we're going to have installed there, Gratiot and New Haven Road. It comes with a larger salt spreader.
Yes.
I think the one quote you got was this big.
Yes, the other salt spreaders, they weren't able to accommodate for what we wanted.
Yeah. But it would also have water tanks, so we could water the new butterfly garden at Fountain Park
Yes.
when we enhance community park. So they'll be able to go in there without having to lug, stuff around. It's more efficient. And I think it's going to save a lot of wear and tear on the DPW workers.
Yeah, we're getting a little old.
Yeah.
So,
Is this replacing a piece of existing equipment, or is this?
We did a lot of walk behind snow blowing, and we did have our John Deere tractor, which is a tractor, but we had a snow blower attachment, but you spend more time fixing it because the pins would snap all the time. So it was more time consuming than anything. It's kind of like use a front loader John Deere small tractor for what it needs to be instead of trying to, add these attachments and stuff. We tried, but and so we were using walk behind snow blowers, but now we're doing more sidewalks. Now we got Margo added on, and we get a little long-winded doing these things. Sometimes we can't even get them done in the full day, because we have to plow also. So this is going to help a lot. It's going to help a lot, tremendously, actually.
Trustee Cox?
Yes, sir.
so is there a reason we couldn't use the MI deal that we did with the same deal that we did with the backhoe tractor and put it on the MI deal contract? I think with Craig Vick, the government sales guy, we couldn't.
Different person. This was Gwen. She's a separate sales, Craig dealt with big construction and MI deal. I asked her what all deals we could get, and this is what she came up with as far as MI deal, or this is the only. I don't know if it's because of the size of the vehicle or whatnot, but
I don't know, because you're not getting really any price breaks here on this, arguably, compared to what we got with the MI deal, right? Because the backhoe, that was, if you're going to agree, we agreed that there's a need for it, and then getting over that hurdle, right? The deal was unbeatable. And I just would.
But we also traded in another backhoe for the other backhoe also too.
I know it was a lot more money, but this is still, what is this?
Even on the other ones, there's really no breaks on any of the quotes. You really don't get anything, I don't know if it's the size, the size or the cost, so.
Are there any other questions or concerns?
What were the ballparks on the other quotes?
All of them are around 2022. Yeah. But President Primor and I said, we were trying to compare apples to apples, but some of them couldn't compare apples to apples. Smaller shredder couldn't get the proper plow that we needed. We can't get a plow that's not going to last. We had to get a heavier duty because this thing is going to be used. So that's where some of those items kind of skewed numbers. Couple of them, actually one of them, I'm not going to name, but can you just go out and find your own spreader? And the spreaders are expensive, but getting the package, that's where you get the whole shebang in there.
So I see Greenia's is spelling out a government discount program at the bottom there. I'm just wondering why John Deere.
If you look at the individual breakdown on the second page, there is a customer discount total. And so it was, the John Deere was $26,585.76, and then they took a $3,000
$3,000 off.
So it's $23,550. And they did that on the other two pieces as well. The cloud has customers $175 discount.
Or municipality, you know what I mean?
175, 110, yeah. So it's about $4,000 more in discount.
Any other questions or concerns?
I went back to this MIDO website. It doesn't have, there's no limitations on the equipment. I guess there is limits to what AIS will I mean, if they told you that they can't do it, it's not in accordance with the MIDeal website, so I just don't, I guess there's no way to compare it, right? There's no way to say that MIDeal, which guarantees your best pricing because it's both contracts, right? But, I mean, if they said it's not on there, then that's what it is. Because it's from AIS, that's what I'm not kidding. It's the same company, it's just that it's not the AIS POC for the MIDeal contract, so it's too bad because there's a lot of power in buying off that contract. I don't know how much more it'd be.
I just noticed the UTV plow, the customer discounts total, they actually added the
I just saw that
175
too.
instead of subtracting it. So it should have been,
I'll get that taken care of.
yeah. It should have been like 4,400 instead of 4,750.
Okay.
What's the lead time?
All of them are in February. Yeah, every single one. So they're pretty much saying, well, everybody's gonna say it, so if we go forward February, if we don't, it was maybe next year, I guess.
Did we want to, if we did want to approve the John Deere amount, we could approve the amount, but then do more exploration on the website.
Yeah, no, I think that, it'd be worthwhile, I think, doing just that, getting that fixed, but then saying, make that Craig come back and say you can't buy it on that.
Craig, this isn't Craig though.
Yeah,
This is
but-
not Craig at all.
But, well, it's not, well, okay, but the MIDeal then. So he's the AIS representative from MIDeal though, right?
Gwen is from AIS also.
Right, but I'm just going back to your last one, right? He wrote you a quote from MIDeal that said you're using my contract, you're gonna get these discounts. He signed the quote, and I guess maybe I'm using his name inappropriately, because who it is irrelevant, but it's whether or not you can use the MIDeal contract or not. But I just think there's value in making sure that MIDeal says, whether it's not him or not, making sure that they can't buy it under that contract would be, I mean, that was almost, I think if I don't remember my numbers, but that was probably saved us $18,000-$19,000 doing
Yeah, a
that.
large piece of equipment.
It was, it was at $100,000, but it saved us $18,000-$19,000. You're allowed to get $3,000 or $4,000 more off this. I mean, I know they said that they don't do that, but it just, I think that the MI contract, the MIDeal website, there's a website you can go to, it's anything that the village wants to buy. Doesn't mean though that they buy it, right?
Yeah.
It just, you can ask for anything to be bought on it by the government, but it doesn't mean they buy gators, right? So
Some of the equipment that we did get at the village, we went through MIDeal, there wasn't a better price though also, so I know that also.
yeah,
Okay.
but yeah, I think it's still.
And then what is the funding for this coming out of? Is it
Act 51. Act 51.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So Brian, did you do the math on what that final number is? 34,450 with that deduction?
Yeah.
All right, so,
Wait.
go ahead, Mark. Have something else?
I thought the total price was $23,550.
No. That's without the plow.
Yeah,
Page
25
two. Backwards.
That's the
Okay.
plow and the
The
spreader.
plow is the-
Sorry, right.
So the motion that I want to make is that we'll approve the 34,450 for the Gator with the equipment that you have listed. With the caveat that we're going to check with the MI
MIDeal, yep.
deal. I think that's it.
Can I support?
support?
Can I get a roll call, please?
Trustee Pankowski?
Yes.
Trustee Meissen?
Yes.
Trustee Colley?
Yes.
Trustee Dominger?
Yeah.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
And President Price?
Yes.
President Pratmore, I'll actually shoot out a text right now, and I'll let you know hopefully by tomorrow morning.
Perfect. Perfect. I'll let everybody know.
That would be
Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. We're going up to the fire chief position. We back in 2014 had a full-time fire chief. And I'm not sure why, but the position was knocked down to part-time. At the time, the chief had a salary, he had benefits, but it was knocked down to, I think, 20 to 29 hours. We've had an uptick in fire department activities with increased reporting standards from the federal government and the state government. We also now have a new training center. And I'm going to have Assistant Chief Steer talk about that in a minute because we're kind of proud of it. But I think we have the need to reinstate that position personally, I think, because our village is growing. We are the third fastest growing community in the state of Michigan. I went to a 7 o'clock meeting down at the Edsel Ford House and I kept bringing up New Haven. We kept talking about New Haven. Well, it turns out there was a list going around from the state and we're number 3 on the list in population growth. And we are going to get even more residents in the coming years. So I think we need to position our fire department, our first responders, to meet the needs of the residents we have now, the increased population, as well as the residents that are going to be coming here shortly. I've seen, of course, close hand, in first person, what our fire department does, some of the duties that they do, the hours they put in, and we're very lucky. We are paying one part-timer 29 hours and we're getting at least 41, 42 hours a week out of them. So I really think that there is a need to reinstate the position and get the personnel we need in a position that will bring our department further in the future. Has anyone had a chance, now the fire chief contract in front of you is a draft. I know you've all reviewed it. And you'll also see a list of the duties, essential list of the duties that our current fire chief does, and that is not by any means a complete list. But did anyone have any questions or concerns about the duty list? What duties they do at the fire department, or we have the chief is here and the assistant chief is here. Did you have any questions about fire department functions and what they do now compared to what was done 8 years ago? Chief, you want to come up?
I can.
Do you have any questions?
Good evening. If anybody has any questions, I'll be glad to answer them. Excuse me. I get dry sitting over there. I don't know how in-depth I was supposed to do tonight, so I didn't bring a lot of notes because I think you all, I've sent them. I've talked to the fire board. I've talked to the president. So I think we all know what's going on, but if there's something that you have a question of, I'll be glad to answer. The second thing is that I've been the chief for 5 years since the chief retired, and Chief Steer has been my assistant for 5 years. He's a very valuable piece of equipment for this village, okay? And I say that jokingly. He works very hard. He's got skills. I'd like to say that I have lots of skills, and I do not. I'm an old man, and I am glad to serve this place. I'm glad to be part of this organization. I'm very proud of the people that we have. But we've reached a point in our history that you need skills that I am limited at. You're all IT people, I'm not. He is. He's worked, in the last 5 years, he has made me look good. He has helped the department become much more compliant with all the rules and regulations that we talked about. So anyway, the Reader's Digest version is that I want what's best for this village. I want what's best for this department. I'm glad to be here. I want to step down and be the assistant chief. I want Daniel Steer to be the full-time person. I do not want to be the full-time person. I'm blessed that I have a retirement, and I will continue to serve. I will do whatever, and if that doesn't work and you want me to go bye-bye, I'll do that. But I will continue to do everything I can to make this a better place than when I leave than it was. But most of it has been on him. because he has the skills, he has the knowledge, he has the connections because he's lived there all his life, and he has the dedication more than anything else. So we had talked, I talked with the board and I talked with the president before. I don't want a full-time guy, but you need a full-time person. And you need somebody with the skills and the knowledge and the dedication that he has already shown. And like I said, I'm not embarrassed to say, look, let's put the best person as the CEO of this organization, okay? And he is your man. That's all I wanted to put out there. I didn't get a chance to talk to all of you, so I wanted to get that out here in the public, and I wanted to get it up to you. So as you move forward with this, if you decide to do this, I think that just taking him from part-time to full-time and making him the chief, because for some reason, someone has said that, well, you know, if it's full-time, it should be fine. Make him the chief. We're still going to do what we do. We're going to serve you. We're going to serve you. We're glad to do that, but if you want this department to keep growing with the community and providing the service that we've always provided, you need a full-time person. Just for the rules and regulations, and I can't say bad words, the rules and regulations, and we have to follow. If we don't follow it, when a person calls 911, or they just call the fire department, and the big red truck shows up and they help them. And that's what we're here for. But in order for that to happen legally, and for that to happen, there's a lot that needs to be done. I do not have the technical skills to do that. I hate to admit it, but I just don't. I'm not of that age. For those for those of you that aren't old like me, I can do computer stuff. I can do stuff, but he has the skills and the speed and the knowledge to do it. He's very good with budgeting. He understands the budgeting process. I understand it, but I'm not good at it. So the point is, the president said, well, if you step down, that I'm not embarrassed about stepping down. I want what's best. And if you give him from part-time to full-time, you all benefit, okay? The village will benefit. I can't say enough nice things about him. He's always involved in the community. He's always willing to do anything that he's asked. He does a lot of things he's not even asked, but he does it because he cares about this place. So I just want to give that sales pitch. But nobody has any questions? Okay.
We answered them all.
The only questions I have would be amongst the table, and that's budgetary, first of all.
Yeah, we do have, the money would come out of the fire department budget. And the part-time position already pays $30,000. So it would be on top of that with benefits that are offered to our full-time personnel. So it wouldn't be exactly, the $52,000. Sandy and I went through the budget, and that's a price point we could offer to anyone that wants to, that is offered the position.
So that's a sustainable number then that we're looking at?
Absolutely. And I'll be talking later on, tomorrow we're going to have our budget hearing at 6:30, and we'll be addressing budgets and the fire department budget and our budget. And because of our rapid growth, we're going to have to look forward and do at least a 5-year budget, including fire budget and our budget. So, but yes, this is we're already paying $30,000 of it. So.
And then just another question, housekeeping. This would be considered a promotion, so we would not be required to post.
This is reinstating a position, and it would be internal.
Okay.
So, yeah. We had a full-time fire chief, and I'm not sure what we don't. Especially now with the reports coming out that are mandated from FEMA, EGLE, the fire inspections. I mean, the paperwork, just since I've taken office, has doubled on just about any project. So, and there's grant writing, and again, the new training center. Assistant Chief Steer, can you come up here for a minute? I've got your attention. Can you talk a little bit about the fire, the training center?
So the training center just went live last Friday. An NAEMT training center, which will start to teach TECC, which is Tactical Emergency Casualty Care. This is stuff that's in recent events that is beneficial to everybody in this region. I've got 2 very well qualified instructors for this class now. It's a very intense 2-day class. We've partnered with the school district to start to offer them some training as well. And we've been talking with the superintendent over the last week, and she's very excited about our upcoming partnership.
Did anyone have any up for excited about? We've got street cred.
I can tell you excited.
Did anyone else have any questions?
So just for clarification, we're not adding another position, the current part-time will now become full-time, right?
Right, it's reinstating the chief's position, yeah, bringing it back.
Well, taking the current fire chief position and making it a full-time position instead of part-time.
Right.
And then,
Bringing it back to full-time, yeah.
and then dare I ask, the assistant fire chief meets all the qualifications and certifications and all the stuff that's outlined in that, and just making sure.
I think I submitted all that,
Yeah,
didn't I?
yeah, we got it.
Yeah, that's just why I asked, because I noticed
Yes.
that there's a lengthy section of all these certifications and a lot of acronyms, and I don't know, so.
I think he should have to do an agility test right now. Right there, right
He
now.
has all the minimum qualifications and a lot more, so yeah, he's, paper-wise, he looks good.
Perfect.
In addition, I think the increase in just our rooftops alone.
Yeah, I think we need to be prepared, so it's just looking forward. Any other questions or concerns?
I think we're all on board, but I would say that I personally, I think most everybody up here can personally attest to the amount of personal hours that both chief and assistant chief, or looked as it were, put into this. I see it regularly, right, nonstop, so it's almost, you gotta ask yourself at some point, is it overdue, right, so.
Yeah. We're getting a lot more than 29 hours, a lot more than 29 hours.
Are you looking for a motion to approve the contract?
To
Is it a
approve,
resolution?
yeah, we couldn't approve the contract and make the appointment if you would like. So, yeah, there'll be 2 separate motions.
I make a motion that we approve the contract for the New Haven Fire Chief.
Support.
Make a motion that we approve.
Right. Hold on, roll call.
Excited to?
Trustee Meisen,
Yes.
trustee Bankowski,
It was Mark.
Oh, sorry,
trustee
trustee
Connell.
Connell.
Trustee Kelly?
Okay, I abstain, but I have an objection to that. I'm in a no-pay status with the fire department.
Oh, are you?
Yes.
Oh, well, then never mind.
Yeah. So I was gonna, so there's just, I don't know if we can step back or not, so, and I was gonna do a call of order later, but, so I took myself out of a pay status in the fire department, so, and I needed to wait at least a quarter of that not happening before I could say, okay, I'm not getting paid. So I do strictly volunteer hours. I take no money from the village for the fire department, just so everybody knows. So I've hesitantly, I wanted to wait, it's been a while now, but I wanted to wait for that to actually, to me, not to get a paycheck, when I would have normally gotten one. And I still volunteer my time pretty regularly, but,
Okay.
so I just didn't want to abstain from being a part of the council, so I thought that's the smart way to handle that. I don't know if there's,
Go ahead and vote.
so, I vote yes.
Trustee Bankowski,
Yes.
trustee Foley,
Yes.
trustee Bellinger,
Yes.
and President Pridemore.
Yes.
Make a motion that we appoint Assistant Chief Steer to the full-time New Haven Fire Chief position.
Support.
It's been properly moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion is carried. Thank you. And K, And congratulations. Congratulations.
Congrats.
We'll have a swearing at ceremony.
Okay. Next meeting.
Oh, it's swearing in, isn't it? Okay, we're up to JV contract, the sidewalk repairs that we did.
I have our village engineer on Zoom.
Perfect, perfect. We had to approve these in a separate motion. This is for the rehabilitation on the sidewalks we had repaired over the summer, and we hope to continue to fill the gaps that for some reason are plaguing Haven Ridge and Main Street. And also, well, let's get this out of the way first. So we have two separate bills that have to be paid.
Hold on.
What?
These were included in the payment of bills that we passed
I
earlier.
asked if we, okay, let's just approve them anyway.
The agenda had already been sent out today when you
Okay.
said to pull them out.
Okay.
So they were already included in the payment of bills, so this is just the housekeeping that we're paying this bill.
That's perfect. Do I have a motion to confirm that we are paying JV contracting for sidewalks?
So moved.
Support.
Give me a roll call anyway.
Trustee Bunkowski?
Yes.
Trustee Meisen?
Yes.
Trustee Foley?
Yes.
Trustee Cowley?
Yes.
Trustee Bellinger?
Yes.
And President Craig?
Yes.
I gave our village engineer the thumbs up.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sir Matt.
He went to Arizona to be with his family and immediately that's it. Poor guy got a cold. I hope he feels better. And I hope he has a very Merry Christmas. All right, now on to unfinished business, the Marijuana Committee. As you know, the last time the motion came up, it failed. And I thought we were going to have a full council today to revisit whether to form a marijuana committee. And we have another absentee, so we're going to hold a vote on whether a marijuana committee should be reconvened. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to reconvene the marijuana committee.
Second.
It's been moved and supported. Can I get a roll call?
We have comment on the motion?
Sure.
Or
Sure.
discussion?
Go ahead.
I don't know if it's appropriate, but do we by chance have record of how trustee Guerrero voted last time?
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
it doesn't matter.
I mean, it doesn't matter, but.
It's probably in the minutes.
Okay.
What would this committee be actually looking at, the commercial aspect of it,
Well, that would be for the marijuana committee, if it is formed. The last time that I had the pleasure of chairing the committee, both issues were addressed. So I think if it is reconvened, both issues would be addressed. So it has been moved and supported. Can I get a roll call?
Trustee Bunkowski?
No.
Trustee Foley?
yes.
Trustee Cowley?
No.
Trustee Bellinger?
No.
Trustee Meisen?
Yes.
And President Craig?
No. Okay, item B, amending council rules of procedure. We had a request, a very smart request. Our council rules of procedure are formatted to give council guidelines on the monthly meetings and how the agendas are published. This is our way forward for each meeting. We have under item 5, or B, council meeting agendas, it's public hearings, if there are any scheduled, like our CDBG hearing coming up in January. Call to order, roll call, public comment on the agenda, and then approval of agenda. And recommendation was made that we switch those. That we approve, nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, we approve the agenda first, and then the public would have. So what I'm asking is that we can switch public comment on the agenda, have approval of agenda first, and then public comment.
So swap 3 and 4.
Swap 3 and 4.
Okay.
And I think that was a smart recommendation. So do I have a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Properly moved and supported. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Code enforcement position. You all know that we are facing challenges getting a code enforcement officer. So the only thing that I am going to ask is that council, and this will be part of our budget hearings tomorrow, think of ways that we can get that position filled. We were paying the last code enforcement officer $750 a month, and we posted the position, and we had people back out of it, decided they didn't want to do it. So I think we need to look at the position itself, how it's part of our village operations, and see if we can come up with a position that we can get filled that will handle code enforcement. And if there are other duties in there, so be it. But that's all I'm going to ask you guys to do is to think creatively. How can we get a code enforcement position? Because our last code enforcement officer made such a difference in our community, and we want to keep that momentum going. So.
I think at one point, and I know I brought it up last time, and you probably told me the answer that last time as well. Was there was like a third-party service that you could contract? Or there was
I contact McKenna Associates.
They won't do it?
They have an advertisement for people they're trying to hire. So I've got a feeling, so I reached out to them. I contacted a couple of communities about possibly sharing services. Ray Township, the supervisor is the code enforcement officer, so no. Lennox Township, the young lady wasn't interested. So, you know, we've done some outreach and we're coming up.
Do we know if she was not interested due to the pay amount or just not interested, period?
She just wasn't interested. That's third party I got from someone else who talked to her, so she just wasn't interested. But I think we have some other things around the village that we could probably incorporate into that position. So tomorrow at the budget hearing, that's one of the things we're going to discuss. And I'd like everybody to put their thinking caps on and let's see if we can get this issue addressed. Thank goodness it's winter, even though it's warm. So, but come spring, we're going to have some issues.
Why don't we just add it to the contract for the new fire chief?
Hey!
There we go.
Hey!
That's good.
There's an idea.
That's good.
I thought I heard mention of the supervisor or village president does it.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good option as well, so.
Yeah, no, I don't
We'll
think
throw an
so.
extra couple $100 in your check, come on.
Yeah, everybody take a day of the week. I'll take Tuesday. No, but all kidding aside, we need to get the shoes filled. So think about this, and tomorrow at the budget hearing, I think that's one of the, and I'm still formatting the agenda for the budget hearing, so it'll be on the table tomorrow. Planning and rezoning recommendations, we tabled that. So call from the floor. Do we have anyone that would like to address the council?
Good evening. I'm Louis Kincaid. Excuse me. First of all, I'd like to congratulate Chief Daniel. And second of all, I would like to see the DPW get the same treatment as the fire department. What I heard Marcus Gilbert give quotes and stuff, pretty much everyone on the council went behind, checking on the price. It's like maybe you guys should just say, Marcus, go pick up the equipment we already ordered. I mean, I'm quite sure he's doing his job. Thank you.
Call from the floor. And call from the table.
So I have a couple things, just real quick. I did want to officially get on the record about the volunteer status in the fire department. I don't think it matters at some point that it's official in the record that I'm in a non-pay status for the fire department. So I'd like to get that, so notice or notified. And the other one is I heard back from our representative about the traffic light at New Haven Road, and I called him, we had a conversation. We had talked to him about, he asked what we wanted help on, and we talked about the traffic light here. So he did some research, and I was hoping that the village engineer would be here, but he came back in and said that the state has no record that we've officially asked for that light to be reviewed. And I said, I don't believe that's true, and I went through all my files, but I couldn't find anything. I think it's pre-me being on here, but he said that they don't have where we asked for a study for the traffic light going towards 94 to make a left, you know, because the other side, it's not as much traffic and it doesn't back up like tonight it was backed up, right? So,
Which intersection?
New Haven and 26?
26 or?
New Haven and Gratiot, I'm sorry, what did I say?
No, you're right, New Haven and Gratiot.
New Haven and Gratiot. Sandy?
Personally, I talked to an engineer that was doing a study for those two corners. I have his name somewhere, so I will get that to you.
Yeah.
He basically, because I said I didn't think that was the case, and he said, give me the information, so he can go back to that person and say, because he talked about that, they also said that if we want a turn signal light at New Haven Road, making a left on Gratiot, that might be a village bill. And I said, well, we'll get to that point when we talk about it being allowed to even be done, because right now it doesn't look like anybody's doing anything. So if I can get any information that we've done on that study, I'll get that back up to him, and he's agreed to continue to champion getting the state, because even if, I think arguing over whose bill it is to put in the turn signal is maybe for a future discussion. But even if it is our bill, we can't do it till they say it's okay for us to do it, even if
Talking about
it is.
26 in New Haven or Gratiot?
New Haven Road and Gratiot, right here.
That's why I'm concerned, because I thought we were all concerned about New Haven and 26.
No, well, that's happening though. That study is happening.
Well, yeah, now finally.
Right, but I had talked to him about trying to make it like at the end of the school day, right? So just incidentally, if you go on a fire call, right, at the wrong time, you're in oncoming traffic the whole way down because it's backed up, right? So same
And
difference.
the timing is off too.
Yeah.
It was back
Ever since they added the turn light, the timing has been off.
Right.
Yeah.
So we can move it forward if we just need to kind of continue to push the needle.
I feel like that corner, the New Haven Road and Gratiot is 3. It's the county, it's the state, and it's New Haven. I think that's like a junction of all 3 that have to come together.
Actually, it's just state county. It's Gratiot's a state road.
Yep.
New Haven Road, New Haven Road is a Michigan road, it's state.
State road.
It's not.
So the engineer he talked, and that's what I thought as well. The engineer he talked to said it's our road, and I said, well, I don't think it's our road.
I think once you cross over here, in front here is our road. That way is state or county, and then that way is state.
The bottom line,
That's why
But
if it's our responsibility, if it means traffic safety,
Yeah, it's moving forward.
I know, but that's what I'm thinking. There's 3 different government entities involved.
that's fine.
But I can take that information and we can go back and engage them, and he's going to help push it along. He was in a traffic meeting at the state and brought it up or something like that, but I told him that I'd find out from the council if we had, what the history was on us asking for help with that light. But he said he can't do anything until there's an open project. And I said, okay, well, let's either find one that we did something with, and if we have to, fine, open a project,
Yeah.
right? So,
Right.
okay.
Yeah, and just the update on New Haven Road and 26 Mile, the county completed their study, they turned it over to the state, and the state contacted me and said, the county approved it at their level and said, yes, you definitely need a turn signal. Apparently, there was an accident. He called an accident. Yeah, so, but he said they turned it over to the state because M19 New Haven Road at that point is a state road. And they have to do an approval, and it could take up to 6 months. So we probably won't hear until the spring, but we are getting, everything's in place to kind of get it moving.
So if you want a record of it, I had my first request on November 1st, 2017 to MDOT. There's an engineer that no longer works there, but that's when I first made the request, was 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I remember that.
If you can shoot me that stuff, I'll ping it from that end, and then we'll get the engineer involved in the actual,
Right.
the technical parts of what has to be done. But I'm hopeful that if we can get him talking to the right person that we've previously engaged, maybe he can unbuckle it and get it going, or get it moving. So.
Thank you.
The problem I've had with MDOT on that intersection is everyone that I deal with, they're only there for about 6 months and then they're gone, and then it's a new person that comes in. So you're basically having to tell the whole story over again. And
Saves a lot of money, doesn't it?
I was pretty happy to get a call back from him. He called my cell and left a message, and he's said he's gonna help us get it fixed, so he's living up to it. Good deal.
Great, thank you.
That's all I got, thank you.
Call from the table. I just want to say thank you to this council. We've made some great strides this year. We brought municipal buildings up to where they should be. We're replacing aging equipment, and we've got some great people in place, and I'm looking forward to the new year and seeing what we can accomplish in the new year. So I will see you guys tomorrow, but I do want to wish everybody a very Merry Christmas and a safe, healthy, and happy New Year. Do I have a motion?
Motion to adjourn at 20:06.
Support.
I can't do the math.
I don't know why they have, I think a power outage is everywhere. Meeting is adjourned.